Hello, this is Anlineoffline. Today we'll summarize the Season 4 test server patch notes for COD Mobile 2024. First up, the numbers are slightly off, but the Type 19 is getting a buff to its bloom. Currently it's average like an LMG, but will be comparable to other ARs. Next, the Grau is getting a nerf to its strafe speed. He will no longer be the third fastest strafing AR in base, but will still be above average for its class. The Man of War with thermite rounds is both toxic and terrible. It's distractingly loud. It melts streaks. You can camp choke points. You can blind people unlike a certain flashlight. And it's a guaranteed 2-tap anywhere in the body at any range. On the other hand, death by burning can take half to over a second, and that's assuming they're not using any fire resistance or instant healing. By comparison, the average time to kill in this game is a quarter of a second. Within objective modes, shredding kills will not get you far on the scoreboard, but it's better for going tit for tat in S&D or non-objective respawns. It's gonna take more than an area nerf to properly sort this out, and I still believe it would be best if it were semi-auto. Next, the S36 is seemingly getting a minor damage buff at mid-range. But just one headshot will now allow for a 4-shot potential, plus the forearms will also help with that. For the longest time, I believed that the Cordite did most things better than the CBR, but was held back by its atrocious flinch. But if the Cordite gets a flinch below 1.0, it could pick up where the CBR4 meta left off. Despite being such a staple gun from Black Ops 2, the MSMC has long been neglected in mobile, and these buffs won't do much. A single headshot will only make a difference in its final range, and the MSMC doesn't have the recoil or bloom to challenge those ranges. The chest multiplier won't matter because you would need to land all or a majority of those shots on an area that's blocked by the arms. The buff to his initial hipfire spread is fine though. The BKM is getting 3 buffs. The forearms will now deal 7% extra damage like the biceps, and improve its odds of extending its 3-shot potential, possibly up to its 3rd range if you mix in headshots as well. It will also have AR level bloom and flinch, so the PKM will be even more camper friendly. Next, the Tundra will no longer be tied with the HDR for the longest breath hold, and will instead have half of what is standard for snipers. However, it is important to remember that the Tundra doesn't have attachments that penalizes this. So in practice it evens out and becomes average when compared to speed builds on other snipers, and it still maintains its damage consistency, fire rate, and minimal idle sway. This season's Tech 9 is getting a minor range buff, which translates to a 1 meter difference for the muzzle conversions. No one uses the base version though. Next, the 5-round burst halberd mag will give the swordfish 30% extra damage to the stomach. This gives you a more reliable 4-shot kill at close to mid-range, and a more consistent 1 burst at long range. Although I was hoping for something more for the base version. Like the Tech 9, the Mac 10 is also getting a very minor range buff. Again, the numbers are slightly off, but to conclude the weapons, the CBR4 will have some of its nerfs partially scaled back. Will it be meta again? I don't think so because it still has poor bloom and bad flinch that gets countered by high impact weapons like LMGs and slower ARs. For operator skills, both the Havoc and Death Machine will recharge faster. For streaks, the AC-130 gunship will be cheaper by 100 points, and the Guardian will have increased health. 3 perks are getting buffed. The Persistence perk currently doubles the cost of streaks, but will now only be 80% more expensive. So the users will be able to get their streaks slightly sooner, no matter how many times they die. The Thermite Man of War shreds streaks, but this is an unwarranted compensation. Alert is getting a detection buff, and that's fine. And last but not least, Vulture is getting yet another buff, and will heal almost half health. If you're playing very up close and aggressive like with melee weapons, it might be better to use this instead of Quick Fix. So, what are my thoughts on these balance changes? they're fine. These are for the test server, so it may not be final yet. The Type 19, S36, PKM, and Swordfish got good buffs. Personally, I'm looking forward to the Cordite with less flinch. For Persistence, Tundra, and Vulture, we'll have to wait and see. The last patch had more nice things to look forward to except for the Mana War. Then again, Hans Zimmer is returning to Call of Duty. But hey, that's just my opinion. I'll get back to the LAPA, Tech 9, and maybe the Warzone videos. My name is An, and I'm off.